Hi, it's Steve. Today we'd like to show you how to change the surface element on your electric range. It's a really easy job. All we're going to need is a number 2 Phillips screwdriver and maybe a pair of needle nose pliers. Let me show you how we do it. Now before we begin this repair, the first thing we'll need to do is to disconnect the power. So pull the range out far enough so we can get at the plug and unplug it from the receptacle. If it's a hardwired range, you'll want to locate the proper breaker in the electrical panel and disconnect the power there. Now our next step will be to open up the oven door, then locate 2 Phillips screws that are just under the front edge. We'll remove both of those, and these screws secure the top to the frame. With them removed, you can then just lift up on the front, tilt it up, get a good grasp on either side, and we're going to just push it to the left, tilt out the right, and pull back, and unhook the opposite side. Now we can set that main top out of the way. So next we'll just pull those wires off of the terminals. Remember to take note where they're each located. And then we'll just release these spring clips that hold the element to the top. Just pull outward on them, and that will allow us to lift the element assembly up and away. And then we'll next need to transfer these spring clips to our new element. Now to transfer these spring clips, well, first of all, take note of where they are located on the old element, and there are little numbers that are embossed into the bottom plate of that element. So just take note of the 2 numbers. And then we'll gently push inward on that clip against the spring portion of it. And that should release it from the opening. And you'll note there's a little barbed end there that actually fits into one of those little holes. Do the same for the opposite side. Set the element aside and use caution when working with this element. We don't want to damage that insulating material around the edge here. So we're going to take that little sharp pointed portion of that and line that up, pull it down into the element. Locate the one on the opposite side. And we'll do the same. We're now ready to set the element back into the range. Now when reinstalling the element, we want to make sure that we have these spring clips into the same slotted openings that the original came out of, and they're all numbered. There should be matching numbers that we will use. I have a number 1 on this side and a number 1 over here. Those would be the 2 that we're using for this particular element. So we'll fit the lower end of that tab into those openings and just press them over far enough so that the spring tension holds it in place. Next, we'll reconnect the wires to the terminals on the element. We want to make sure that those fit nice and snug. And if they appear the least bit loose, we'll just take our pliers and give them a little bit of a crimp very gently. We're now ready to put the main top back on. Now the main top on this particular model uses a couple of hinge pins right at the very top lip on the backsplash of the main top. There's one on both sides. Now those little hinge pins are going to fit into openings at the top of this little vertical piece, and there's a little spring clip on the outside edges of those. So what we'll do is we'll hook one of those pins in first, pull the main top towards that side, which will allow us to slide the other one in and pop it into position. So we just want to make sure we have it up high enough. Engage one of them. Feel the spring tension of it. You can feel the tension of both springs. It will center itself, and then just lower it down till the front edge rests. And we'll next secure it with the 2 screws from underneath. So we just install those retaining screws at the front and tighten those securely. We're now ready to reconnect the power, and our repair is complete.